TCU tomorrow?
Yeah, I think, again, I just want to thank Verbo for their support of this event in the city of Glendale. And the Fiesta Bowl has just been outstanding. So I just want to say thank you to everybody that's made this week so enjoyable for our players and our coaches and everybody associated with TCU football. I think our team is a team that's going to play hard. I like, our guys. We play for 60 minutes regardless of the score. We're going to be a team that's excited to play. We've been a team that has overcome a lot of obstacles this year. We've talked about it at length, but we were picked 7th in the preseason poll in the Big 12 this year. Probably 5, maybe 6 players in our team have been to a bowl game before. The other 125 players have never participated in a college football bowl game, so this is new for us. But our guys have adapted incredibly well. So I think you'll see a team that's going to play hard, be excited to play, play physical, play a tough brand of football, and never quit. We've been a team that has shown a lot of resilience this year, and certainly it'll be a big challenge for us playing against Michigan, but our guys are very excited about it and looking forward to going out and competing against the best. We tell our guys all the time, if you want to be the best, you have to compete against the best, and you look at Michigan over the last 2 years, especially they're 25-2. It's been a heck of a run by their program and their players, and our guys are excited to compete against the best.
Thank you, Coach. Gentleman to my left doesn't really need an introduction. 1986 Fiesta Bowl alum who led the Wolverines to a win over Nebraska that day at Sun Devil Stadium. And this year led the Wolverines to a 13-0 record, the most wins in school history. Coach, as I walked in this morning on the pillar, I saw Olu up there. Your offensive line has won the Joe Moore Award for the best offensive line 2 years in a row. What part does the offensive line play in your team's success?
Well, it's been a fabulous experience for us having Olu, captain in his graduate transfer year, been an integral part of the team. I think he's had a great experience. The offensive line is it's a team within a team. Great bunch of guys that have. I guess there's probably some schools where the offensive line is, doesn't get all the recognition or the publicity, that kind of thing. It's different in Michigan. It just has been. Our offensive line is. They've been leaders. They've been great workers. They've been great examples in every way, and they're a huge part of our team's success.
Thank you, Coach.
Also, want to say, if I could, just
absolutely. I'm not going to stop you.
Also, just how excited we are to be here. How great the treatment's been from the Fiesta Bowl. Verbo, thank you. Just been first class all the way, and all the effort that everybody made to be here, including yourselves and parents of our players. I mean, it was tough. It's been tough with travel, cancellations of flights and things. I mean, there's stories of our families driving 20 hours, 15 hours, 26 hours to be here and support our team. I just so thankful for the effort that they've made to come support the Michigan Wolverines.
Thanks, Coach. Appreciate that. We have mic runners, Denise and Brittany, on either side. Please raise your hand. We'll call on you. Get the question captured. We'll start on the lower left here.
Coach Dykes, Mac Engel, Fort Worth Star Telegram. After you guys beat Texas, you mentioned your dad and that you wish you'd been around to see that. That's 2 months later. What do you think he would think about where not only TCU is, but where you are specifically as a head coach?
Yeah. When you grow up around the game of football, you can't help but have a tremendous respect for the history and the tradition of the game. My dad obviously had a huge impact on my life. Just the way he dealt with people and the way he treated people, and the relationship he had with players, I think was a great lesson for me to learn. Just about, people talk about the football family, but just seeing it every day. Seeing the former and current players that my dad and our family, interacted with really on a daily basis, and you learn kind of after the fact how big of an impact, coaches can have in the lives of football players and student athletes, really across all sports. I think that relationship between player and coach is a really unusual relationship. And so, I think my dad loved teams that were unselfish. That was one of the things that he talked about all the time was, it's amazing what can be accomplished when people didn't care who got the credit. I've heard that 1 million times from my dad growing up. And I think this team really embodies that philosophy. We've got a group of guys that really sacrifice for each other, really invest in each other, really care about each other on a very, very deep level. And a team that, again, never quits, regardless of what the situation is. They're going to play through the whistle, through the quarter, through the half, through the game, never quit. And I think he would be proud and impressed with the level of commitment that these guys have. One of the things that my dad used to do when he used to come watch our teams, he would walk around the sideline during the game and pay attention really to what was happening on the bench than actually what was happening in the games. He always said you can learn really what's going on with your team by watching the body language and the interaction of the players that weren't playing the game. And I think he'd be really proud of our guys. I mean, the guys on the sideline are cheering for the other guys. They may not be the ones that are getting the credit or the acclaim or the press or whatever the case may be, but they really care about their teammates, and they really have that unselfish attitude, and it's really about what can we do together as opposed to what can I do individually. And so, in my 28 years of coaching, I think this is probably my favorite team I've ever coached, because it's just a real unique collection of unselfish young people. And I think when you do it as long as I have, you really appreciate that when you see it. And so I think he would be really proud of this team, and I think he would really get a kick out of our quarterback and the way he competes and his unselfish attitude and never say die mentality.
You want to go talk about your dad?
Oh yeah, Coach Dykes and I were talking about this the other night, just how blessed we both are. I mean, to grow up in coaching families where you're around the team from a very, very early age. You hang out at practice, you're going to the locker room. Players come over to the house for dinner. They're the guys you look up to, and then along the way it becomes, boy, it's not only possible, it's inevitable that I'm going to do something in football, and my brother, and it's generational. It's really generational. It's just so blessed. We were talking about that, and then Spike Dykes, great coach. Coach of the Year 3 times at Texas Tech. My dad told a great story after we were together the other night, and we were back at the hotel. He used to talk about going to the clinics. Back when they were assistant coaches, they'd go to the coaching clinics. Coaches would get up, much like they do today, and give the presentations. But then the real clinic was after the clinic. They'd go to the hotel bar, they'd have a beer, and all of a sudden the paper and the napkins came flying out, and they're drawing plays, and they just couldn't wait to talk football and share football and tell them everything that you know. No, we don't do that. That's something that's changed, but he just talked so fondly about that, and he was at a clinic with Spike Dykes, and that's one of his great memories of coaching and talking ball. So yeah, we're just that's deep. When you start talking about your dads and how much we've learned from our dads and how much our dads have meant to us and the opportunity that they've given us. Like I said, it's something that's generational and now affects our kids and continues.
I'll add one more thing to that. Jack and I were talking Harbaugh the other night at this event, and we were talking about the relationships that coaches have, and how different and unusual it is. And I was talking about when I was playing high school football, my dad may be playing Texas A&M, the next day, and I would come in from my high school football game, 1 o'clock after driving back from Amarillo or wherever we were driving back from, and walk in the living room of the house, and my dad and R.C. Slocum were in there having a drink, at 1 o'clock a.m. the night before the game. So in that spirit, I was going to invite Coach Harbaugh over to my hotel room tonight and see if we wanted to open a bottle of bourbon up and reminisce a little bit. I don't know if he'll take me up on it.
It's way past my bedtime.
On that note, we'll move on to the next question, but we'll start over here on the right-hand side.
Trent Krim, The Independent. That was good yesterday. I like that. That's good. Brad Galley from WXYZ in Detroit. A question for both of you, Jim, if you could start with the answer. Each team that you guys led this season was expected to be knocked off by people on the outside, and each week you took shots from different opponents in your conference. You went through the grind, you end the regular season undefeated. Sonny, your team loses in the championship game, but the success all year, the grind of week to week, what's it like now having a month in between this and trying to prepare for that long?
Go ahead. I think you said something.
Okay. It's different. I think, as I said earlier, this is really the first time for a lot of our guys in our program to go through bowl preparation. And there is a kind of an art to it. There's, you sit down, as everything, you sit down and you say, okay, what are we trying to accomplish? And number one, you're trying to win the game. But there's also an element of we want to develop our young players as well. A lot of these guys, you're trying to win as you go through the season, and sometimes your young players get put on the back burner to an extent. So, we kind of sat down and said, all right, what do we want to accomplish here, with this experience? And obviously it's get to the championship game and try to win a championship. But also in addition to that, it's let's try to get better as a program. Let's try to develop our young players. And at the same time, try to give our guys a great experience with the idea of, again, the emphasis on winning the game. So a lot of thought and planning and conversations went into it. We tried to call around and talk to some folks that had been, through this before. It is a little different. You do, 3 weeks between games is a little unusual. But I think we needed to get some rest. That was first and foremost. Some guys healed up and some guys rested. And then at the same time, try to develop our young players for the future and then prepare to play our best football on Saturday. So it's been a heck of an experience. I think we've handled it well. We'll find out Saturday. I mean, that'll be the thing is if we go out and we play well Saturday, then we'll feel great about our preparation. And if we don't, we'll feel really bad about it. And that's just kind of the way it works.
Yeah, I think that's really well said. I mean, it's all about the game tomorrow. I mean, really everything's been said that can possibly be said. Every question's been asked, every question answered, and now it's time to go play the game and let it rip. And our guys are excited to do it. People just don't. Not everybody gets this opportunity. I mean, hardly anybody, gets this kind of opportunity. And it's the best of the best playing the best. I mean, you are who your record says you are. I think that was Bill Parcells said that, and they're great. And we're ready. We're ready to line up. It's time to line up and have at it.
Next question over here, Nui.
Nui Scruggs, NBC5 Dallas Fort Worth, for Coach Harbaugh and Coach Dykes. Can you take me through your mindset and preparation in the event that you need your 2-minute offense to go down the field and get a score to win the game?
Yeah, some we've practiced, something we've planned, and we anticipate that situation will come up, and we feel like we're prepared for it. Like you said, if it's successful, you'll have felt good about your preparation. If it's not successful, then we won't. But that's our mindset. We expect it. We expect to be in that situation and we've practiced it and feel we'll be successful if when that situation comes up. That's our mindset.
Yeah, similar to what Coach Harbaugh said. I think, when you sit down and you talk about end of game situations, the way college football is now, there's a lot of parity in this game. And again, you look at our games this year, we didn't have a lot of games that weren't decided at the very end of the game. Whether it was 4-minute offense where we're trying to run the clock out and get a couple of first downs to win, or whether it was 2-minute offense where we were playing from behind or even, and we needed to go down and try to win the game at the end of the game. Those situations are a small part of the game, but to me, those are the situations that determine whether or not you're up here on the podium in the college football playoff, really. Had we not handled some of those situations pretty well, then we wouldn't be here today. I think it all begins with your preparation, and it's something that we'll emphasize all spring, all fall camp, just like everybody else during the week of preparation. But at the same time, there's such a fine line between winning and losing, and you better be good in those situations, whether it's 2-minute, whether it's red zone goal line, whether it's short yardage. All those situations in college football today determine the teams that win or lose every Saturday. We're not a team, full of first-round draft picks or anything like that. I mean, look, we've got really good players, but we're going to have to master those situations and be really good at them to have an opportunity to win.
We'll go back right over here.
Jim, a constant theme for you and your players this season have been the faith and love you have. Could you talk about the source of your faith and how that strengthens you and what it means to you?
Yeah, the faith, family, football, those are the priorities. This has been a particular team that just a lot of rock solid guys in their faith. It's a family. Guys, they're happy for the other guy's success. They support each other. They have each other's backs. It's a true team. It's a true ball team, and just makes it enjoyable every day, every single day. To be on a team where each guy knows they don't have to carry the whole load. Everybody else is chipping in, doing their fair share, and just like in your faith, God is with you, and you're not doing it alone. And really, when you try to do it yourself, or you think you know better than our Lord, then that's when things seem to go awry. But it's been a tremendous team and family to be around regarding our faith. Iron sharpens iron, as the Bible says, and this team is a true example of that.
We'll go back left.
Joe Trahan, WFAA TV out of Dallas. This question is for both of you coaches. In those hours and minutes before kickoff tomorrow, there will be so much emotion and energy on the field, in your locker rooms. What is the message for your team in terms of trying to harness all of that energy in a productive way?
Yeah, for us, it's go out and play as hard as you can, as fast as you can, as long as you can, and don't worry. And those butterflies are there. They were there every game I ever played. I think every football player, has them. And until you get that first hit, whether it's a block or a tackle, that's what seemed to make them go away from me. See contact early, and then play as hard as you can, as fast as you can, as long as you can, and don't worry.
Yeah, similar. I think the same thing, applies to us. I mean, it's interesting. Everybody's got a different way of kind of getting ready. We'll have some players that, will listen to music on their headphones and get excited, and then other guys will just be in the corner and be quiet. And everybody kind of does what they do to get ready for a ball game. I'll say this tomorrow will be a little bit of a reflection maybe for me before kickoff, just, thinking about my mentor, Mike Leach, passing. I think that's going to be a big, part of my feelings pregame tomorrow, just the impact Mike had on my life and really college football in general. And, we're going to wear a helmet sticker in remembrance of Coach Leach with a pirate flag on it. And, he was a big impact on me and really, as I said earlier, football in general. And so I'm sure there'll be a little bit of shout out to Coach Leach, before I take the field, just again, what he meant to me personally and in my life, and certainly wouldn't be here without his guidance and mentorship and the huge impact he had on my life. And just an original guy that did things his way and outside the box thinker, and just was really blessed and fortunate to have a chance to work with him. So I'm sure his memory will certainly cross my mind before we take the field tomorrow as well.
Thanks, Coach. We go back, right?
Coach Harbaugh, Hobie Artigue, Local 4 TV in Detroit. You mentioned that opportunities like this don't come around, but here you are very often. But here you are, back-to-back years in the college football playoff. You've called your team, especially late in the season, happy Warriors. That's how you've described it. But how would you describe your last 2 years personally?
Well, as I just love I love football. I love the game. I love the team atmosphere. I could describe that as that's been my whole life. Been since 5 years old, and this team has been one of the all-time great ball teams to be on, and I include some great little league teams that I was on, a high school team, college team, pro teams. This is right up there with all the best. None better. It's been that enjoyable.
We'll go front left here, coaches.
Stephen Johnson, Fort Worth Star-Telegram. Question for both coaches. Both of your teams have two of the top second-half offenses in the country. I think both rosters pride themselves on being able to finish games. In your opinion, what's kind of led to that success in being able to kind of close out those games at the halftime?
You want to go first?
Really, I think, TCU, watching them, I think they've been a great first half team too. I mean, they play 60 minutes of football, and they play it really well. We aspire to be the same type of team. You're always trying to find the formula, the game every week to let's play our best. Let's play our best for 60 minutes of football. I think they've done a tremendous job doing that. I think we have as well, like Bill Parcells says. I mean, you are who your record says you are, and that's what we want to do in this game. I mean, you got to play good. You have to play good, and the longer you can play good, the better off you're going to be. There's going to be momentum shifts in the game. I mean, they're going to make plays. Our goal will be to try to get the momentum back in our favor, and keep it for as long as we can. And then when we lose it, we're going to try to get it back again and see how long we can keep it. I mean, that's just the game of football. But it all comes down to you got to play good, and that's what we planned. That's what we prepared. Now it's time to go do it.
Yeah, to me, I think good football teams, doesn't matter if it's, elementary school football, junior high football, high school, college, pro football, great teams are built up front. They just are. And I think that's a big part of why Michigan's been so successful in the second half is they just pound on you. They keep pounding, and it takes its toll on you. The 4-yard gain in the first half becomes a 6-yard gain in the third quarter, becomes a 10-yard gain in the fourth quarter. And great football teams get stronger as the game goes along. So, we are two of the better closing football teams in college football, and I think it's because we're built with that same kind of mentality and understanding of the game is won up front. It just is. You want to play and compete at the very highest level, you better be good up front. And, they've got an outstanding offense and defensive front. That's, to me, what their team is built around. And that's why they've had the tremendous success in the last 2 years and throughout their history of Michigan football. I mean, that's been a trademark of those programs through the years. And that's, you want to close the game out, recruit a heck of an offensive line to let those guys handle it. And I think both teams have done that.
Great. All right. I don't see any hands up here, so we will adjourn to the trophy podium, and we'll get the coaches over there. We'll start again with the still photographers first, and then we'll do the videographers afterward. Thank you.